Welcome back to Out of the Office Talks with the Eastern Shore Chamber. I'm Jason Schmidt, firewatchbusiness.net, and thank you, Ecotech, for letting us record our podcast here at their Spanish Fort location. Ecotech is your single source for industrial solutions. They provide industrial solutions globally. And the company employs a team of technical solution engineers for most manufacturing processes. Please visit them at ecotechamerica.com. The QR code is on the screen and the link is in the description. Thank you so much to Ecotech for hosting Out of the Office Talks with the Eastern Shore Chamber, and we're excited about your future here on the Eastern Shore. I have the president and CEO of the Eastern Shore Chamber. We've been waiting on this for a while now, and it has come to happen. Casey Williams. Casey? Do we have to say Gay? Do we need to say Casey Gay Williams?
Well, a lot of people do know me as Casey Gay, having grown up here my entire life.
Absolutely.
So, my last name's changed a couple of times, so it kind of, some continuity there is always good to have.
Absolutely. I love it. So, Kate, you grew up here.
I did. And actually, I live in the house that I was raised in. My mother was a brilliant real estate person and bought 2 acres in Old Daphne and built a little house, and it was added on over the years. And so I live there now, and my sister's my next door neighbor and my daughter's across the street. So we have a compound.
That's a great place to be. I'm sure your daughter loves it, so she can just come over there.
Oh yeah, those grandbabies being next door is really nice.
That is not bad. Not bad at all.
So you're at the chamber. How long have you been at the chamber now?
In October, it'll be 9 years.
That is hard to believe. What got you there?
Actually, my dad was the director of the Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce in the mid-60s to early 70s. So it was primarily a tourist function for the chamber, and so he worked on Thursday afternoons, and a lot of times I went to downtown Fairhope with him and ran around the chamber office that we now work in still to this day in downtown Fairhope. So I grew up with the chamber, and obviously both of my parents gave a lot to the community, and I was raised to give back to the community. So when I had been in banking for 35 years, loved what I did, and had this opportunity to apply for the president and CEO, and so I did, and kind of took a leap of faith. And my daughter Hannah had graduated from Auburn, and I was getting remarried, and it was an opportune time just to make some changes, and it has just been the most fun. I have loved working for the Eastern Shore every minute.
Well, I think when you came into the Eastern Shore, you did a lot of positive changes for us.
There was a lot that had gone on in between the retirement of someone who served the chamber for 25 years, and then there was an interim, and then the interim, there had just been a lot that went on for a few years, and so there were some things that needed to change. But first, I had to really seek to understand what had happened, who the party should be, and I love that. I've always been a person that kind of can take something that's not working well and spend some time understanding the issues. And so I had a great team. The team at the chamber that was there had a lot of institutional knowledge. They kept the chamber going no matter what was happening. And so I had a great team to start with, which made it a lot easier. So we just began to look at and said, if a group of leaders on the Eastern Shore, Daphne, Spanish Fort, and Fairhope, came to us and said, we would like to create a chamber of commerce for the Eastern Shore. What does it look like today? Rather than trying to fix all the things, it's what does it look like today? What fits into that? And how do we move forward on a different foot where needed? Because our chamber was 100 years old in 2024.
Yeah, and I love that because that is so true. You need to find out where you're going in order to define the steps you need to take to get there. You're not just doing the same old thing.
Well, and also, the huge growth that we have had on the Eastern Shore, it was already growing so fast, and then 2020 was here, and now we're like the 7th fastest growing metropolitan statistical area, along with Daphne, Fairhope, and Foley. So, the growth also impacted how we did our programming. And so we were able to incorporate that into the plan to move forward.
It is amazing the staff that you have currently you do so much with a small staff.
Yes, we do. We are small but mighty and have a lot of energy in the room with us. But again, it's all about community. They're very committed to community, and that takes on different forms. That's not just one community. We have a business community. We have a really strong, we have 65 nonprofit members. So we're really supporting that community, and we're connecting them to the business community. And we also are really focused on small business. We're service, retail, nonprofit, professionals. So that's our role as our chamber, is to really create the environment so those business entities can survive and thrive.
No, I agree. I think that a lot of the focus on small business for our chamber, and we have big businesses here that are members of the chamber.
Yes.
But a lot of our stuff is that one-on-one with small business, which I love about our chamber a lot. So your role at the chamber, it started out as one thing that we just discussed.
Right.
And now how has it developed into what you're doing now?
Well, coming in as president and CEO and not having to been an employee there, I stepped in from a community standpoint and a leadership standpoint. And so as I evolved with the chamber, I've gotten very involved in a lot of elements that are across our community. I work with Coastal Alabama Partnership. I'm on the board of the Baldwin County Economic Development Alliance. I work with the Mobile Bay NEP. So I am not I don't keep things like this. I'm very collaborative. I like to understand what's going on that affects the Eastern Shore and what we do, because we are part of Coastal Alabama.
Right.
We closely align with employee base in Mobile. We learned that while we have a lot of folks that go across the bay to Mobile to work, we have quite a few people that come on the Eastern Shore to work. And the Eastern Shore provides, all of Baldwin County provides workforce for Airbus and Austal, the port, all of those things that are so important to our economy overall. So I'm very collaborative. I feel like it's important that we, as we say, the Mobile Bay washes all shores. So it's very important that we work together as a coastal community.
I'm going to put you on the spot here because you've done a lot here on in the Eastern Shore Chamber and on the community. What are you most proud of?
I think I am most proud of when I hear a member that might have been a member for 20 years and they saw what we were doing different, and they're like, I haven't been engaged with the chamber in a while, but wow, this is great. We're making the connections. We're convening the people that we need to talk to. I had a young man that came in and sat down with me in the middle of COVID. And he goes, I'm going to open a business. This is like July of 2020. And, he's very successful. And he called back and said, it was your encouragement. It was kind of the basis of what you talked about that helped me integrate my business into the community quickly because of making connections. So I'm most proud of just how the business community has coalesced and how they support each other and our nonprofits. It's just the community working at its best, and I love being a vehicle for that.
We do these interviews and we have a lot of chamber members come on them, and it is amazing to learn how much they just love the chamber. And it's amazing because they really, not only are they giving up their time to be here to do this,
right,
but they're also making those connections and building their own business through the chamber.
Well, and it's about people. At the end of the day, everything we do is about people. The most important person to me is the person I'm talking to. I may not return a text quickly or make that phone call really quickly because I'm talking to a person or having a conversation. It's harder and harder to market your business as there's so many channels to market your business now. It used to be you could mail a letter, do a mailer, make a phone call.
Newspaper,
yeah, a newspaper. Wow. And now, not just social media, there's multitudes of social media channels. Now you need to do TikTok and you need to have it on a YouTube channel. And, small businesses are working in their business on their business every single day. So we try very hard to provide resources that make growing their business easy. And a lot of folks don't realize that that's really the driver behind the Chamber of Commerce.
So we're in our 101st year as a chamber.
Yes.
And what are the goals? What are our goals?
Well, I've always said we kind of rebuilt the foundation, went up a layer and kind of rebuilt there. And, we're continuing to move forward with things like our Smart Business Academies. We have a young professional conference at the Grand Hotel now, a professional development conference. So we're now being able to reach out to certain niches within the community, whether it's young professionals, whether it's true small business, whether it's connecting small business to some of the bigger stakeholders that need to work with small businesses. So, it continually evolves. You're not ever done. And no matter how good something is, like our Jubilee Festival, we revamped that and actually had a Jubilee Festival in 2020. We were one of the few. And artists said this is the difference between us surviving 2020 and not surviving. We moved it to Lot Park. So, we're always evolving. We're always challenging ourselves. Is this the best we can do, or can we do something even better? And so last year at the Jubilee Festival, we had over 8,000 people in 2 days come through the Jubilee Festival, see local artists, and every day we just try to make that better.
Yeah, and the Jubilee Art Festival to me is one of the biggest things that y'all have revamped to. It's one of the biggest noticeable things. Some of the things y'all do behind the scenes that we don't know that are making big differences, but it's the 37th annual Jubilee Arts Festival coming up in October is a big deal.
And we get so excited about it. I mean, as I talk about it, I just get really excited about it. And every year we make an addition, or we do something that makes the festival for something for everybody. So I just really love the way my team thinks, and we have very engaged committees. We really want to engage, and I think a lot of folks don't really know what the Chamber of Commerce is. I mean, it's a 501c6 private business association. It's like a Board of Realtors Association or Home Builders Association, where we focus on advocating and connecting business with education, and all of the things that we do from our standpoint is so important. The Chamber of Commerce in the United States, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce was formed in like 1912. So it's an institution, but I think a lot of folks have really don't understand what we do, because chambers do different things in different communities. Obviously, governmental affairs is important. We advocate. We do not endorse candidates, but we inform. We really want people to get out and vote. We have tourism element with our ExploreEasternShore.com, among other things. And our member value, we're always looking for ways to bring value to our different industry segments, because we have a lot of different types of businesses. And so, those are the things that drive, and of course, our dedication to workforce development, which is a huge issue for everyone right now, and really making inroads into the childcare issues and attainable housing issues. So a lot of times I think people don't realize, with all the things we're doing at the chamber, there's something that probably speaks to each person and each business and what they're looking for and what they're needing.
I want to touch back on different chambers doing different things. It depends on what your community needs, is what the chamber is focusing on.
There's some towns and their chamber might put on the Christmas parade. They might be responsible for certain aspects of the community, where, like, the Mobile Chamber has a big economic development arm. For us in Baldwin County Economic Development Alliance is that arm for the county. We support them. The chamber supports them, and they support the chambers. So we realize that in our small business community, those pillars of programming are the important things that we do. So every chamber is a little different. Obviously, Alabama Coastal Business Chamber, they're tourism.
Absolutely.
They have a CBB, but tourism is king, and they work a lot for their businesses in the tourism industry. We have Central Baldwin, South Baldwin, and North Baldwin, and us, we have 5 chambers in Baldwin County. Baldwin County is one of the largest counties east of the Mississippi. I've heard it said it's larger than 5 states. I haven't actually measured myself, but that's what I understand. So we all have a little bit different membership base, but we have a chamber coalition. We're meeting in August, all the heads of the chambers, because we want to work together there as well.
And that's so important because we are one family in Baldwin County and Mobile County, really. I mean, we're on the Mobile Bay, Eastern Shore, and the coast, and that's important to us to be involved.
You know, coastal Alabama, people don't realize we have 110 miles of coastline in Alabama, and we want to preserve it. We want to be sure it's there for generations to come, and we all work together with several other entities to make that a priority. So I think being a part of Coastal Alabama Partnership and those kind of things is important because we all contribute to the success, making sure that we are doing what we need to do to make our quality of life, you know, be the same for generations to come.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else that we might not have covered that I missed?
Just that the chamber, I think a lot of people aren't sure if you want to connect your business to other businesses, if you want to be a part of the community in a way where you're meeting like-minded people who are professionals, who love their community, who want to work with people, we're a fun chamber. Our business after hours, morning marketing meetings, the good old-fashioned networking, come as you are. You know, you don't have to go home and get dressed to go to a business after hours, whether you're in an HVAC uniform or whether you're in AVCO shorts and a t-shirt. Just come on by, meet some people, and learn how to prop up and help our business community as a whole.
I want to say this too about our chamber because I've been involved. I love it. It helps build that trust and that rapport when we're doing these things together. It really is a small business focused chamber.
One of my favorite events is the morning marketing meeting. We have it once a month. It's typically the third Thursday. And we have anywhere from 40. We've had as many as 75. And people have a minute to stand up and tell their elevator story. And my favorite part is afterwards, so many people are like, wait, I need to talk with you. I've been looking for somebody who does that. Or I didn't know we had anybody in our area that could help me with this. And you see these conversations and these very organic people meeting organically and really sharing what they do and then finding somebody to help them or refer them. We have great referral partners within different industries within the chamber, and it's so fun for me just to sit there and watch all that go on as people are also making friends. You know, a lot of folks are new in our area. This is a great way to meet like-minded people, the young professional group. We have ladies' nights. I mean, there's just lots of ways to get involved and engaged and learn more about your community and have fun doing it.
Absolutely. Well, Casey, thank you so much for your time and coming on. Casey Gay Williams, President and CEO of the Chamber. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like, and we appreciate it with Out of the Office Talks with the Eastern Shore Chamber. I'm Jason Schmidt, and this is Casey Gay Williams, and we appreciate your time, and we will see you in the next one.